Welcome to the very first episode of my podcast regarding Real Madrid that does not yet have a name. So, today I'm going to be talking about a few things. This is being filmed very shortly after Real Madrid's second to last group stage Champions League game at the Bernabeu against Napoli. And we're just going to be discussing a few things. As a diehard Madridista myself, I've got some opinions that I'd like to share, hopefully build a community. And if you guys want to chime in the comments, if anyone watches, feel free to do so. So I wrote down a few talking points that I wanted to discuss. Number one, and these are in no particular order, it's just based off the order I've written down. Brahim, Diaz, and Ceballos need to play more. Every single time I see Brahim Diaz on the field, this guy is terrorizing the defense every single time. The dribbling, the shooting, the passing, being able to use both feet, the turns, the acceleration, he gets to top speed so quick. He might not be the fastest guy. He's pretty fast. He looks fast. But he's so quick. He just gets from 0 to 60 so quickly. And it's just phenomenal to watch. He truly is a danger man. And with all the injury problems that we've been having, Camavinga out, Tchouaméni out, Bellingham hurt his shoulder recently, doesn't look like he's been in full fitness yet. Not having a solid left back, having people rotate in there, leaving up options in the midfield. Modric now getting injured. Militao obviously being out. So many injuries. There's got to be spots for these players, for Brahim Diaz and Dani Ceballos. To me, Dani Ceballos is like an Isco regen. Like, he plays so similarly to Isco. He's got the flair, the dribbling ability, the passing. He works so hard. He's like a bloodhound. He presses nonstop, and I love it. I don't think he was fully fit, which is why he got hooked at, I think it was the 60th minute. He's not, what do I want to say here? He's a very good player, and no, he's not going to start over most of our midfield, but he is somebody that could definitely be bought in. We need to rotate more. What is stopping us from playing Ceballos and Brahim more against mid to lower table clubs in La Liga, giving rest to some of our star players? We've rested Modric a ton this season. I understand he's 38 years old. We can give a little bit more rest to the young guys. Just because they're young, it doesn't mean that they can run nonstop. Give Camavinga a break. Give Tchouaméni a break. Give Fede Valverde a break, who's been playing, I think, almost every single game. Give Bellingham a break, right? He's playing. Had it not been for that shoulder injury, I don't think he would have been off the field for most of these games, if any at all. So I think we're at a point where we've comfortably qualified, and I think we are guaranteed first place now in the Champions League group stages. We need to give those players a rest. Give Bellingham a break. Give Rodrygo a break. Vinny Jr. is out because he's been playing nonstop. And then he went to go play with his country, got hurt. Give those guys a break in the last Champions League group game. I believe we still have a few more home games in La Liga. We can afford to rotate. Don't even need to put them on the bench. Sub them off after the 60th minute. We don't need to be finishing these games with our star players every single time, giving them the full 90. I understand they want to play and they want to get their name on the score sheet, but I don't want a repeat of the 14-15 season where, as much as I love Don Carlo, he never rested the stars. They all got injured just past the halfway point of the season, and we lost every single trophy. I think we lost the league by a point. We went out in the semifinals to Juve in the Champions League, and I don't really remember what happened in the Copa del Rey. But that was a very good team. Cristiano Ronaldo had 60 goals, 60-plus goals, I believe, that year. Maybe if we had rotated just a little bit more, maybe we could have won a trophy that year. Maybe we could have had 4 Champions Leagues in a row rather than 3. Now, let's move on to the next point. Bellingham's goal-scoring ability. I personally have not seen... I'm only 23 years old. I didn't get to watch a lot of the legends of the game that we all talk about now. But watching this kid, I have never seen a midfielder come into a team like Real Madrid with so much personality. I heard a commentator say at the beginning of the season, it's like he's been playing there for 10 years. Hopefully he's there for 10 years. He has been phenomenal. He's just come in and he's fit in perfectly. I know this is not new talk, but as this is the first episode, it's something I want to bring up. It's something I want to discuss. I'm so in love with this player and just the instant impact. It feels as if he was a Spanish-born player, instantly came into the dressing room. It's like he's a Madrid native, and he's just the fans just love him. It's like he's one of them. It's like he was born and raised in Madrid, and it's just beautiful to watch. I feel like you can play this guy anywhere. You could play him on the wing. You could play him as a 6, as an 8, as a 10. Maybe not as a 9, even though he's scoring some crazy goals. I don't think he's somebody that wants to play with the center back on his back all the time. He wants the ability to roam, and he's been doing it wonderfully. It's like when Carlo Ancelotti was coaching I think he was talking about his time at AC Milan. And he was like, there were some players that I didn't want to put into my team because they didn't fit my system. But then he realized they were so good that he adapted the system to them. And I think that's truly what he's done with Bellingham. Once again, not new talk, but just something to bring up and talk about. Like we went from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2 diamond because of this one player. And yes, there's talk about, oh, well, you have to. We signed him for $100 million plus. That's fine and all. I don't care about the transfer fee. I'm just, the fact that his talent was so undeniable and so unquestionable that we changed the formation just speaks volumes about him as a player. He's 20 years old and he's leading the team like he's Sergio Ramos. And I just love it. Talk point number 3, Carvajal's form. So anyone that knows me, Mufi, my cousin, if you're watching this, you've heard the countless times I've complained about needing a new right back and a new left back. And I personally need to apologize to Dani Carvajal. I've never said that I want him gone. All I've said is that we need some competition for him. With all due respect to Lucas Vazquez, he's not a right back. I don't think he really is the best backup. And despite Carvajal's recent amazing form, I still don't think he's the one who should be the number 1 at Real Madrid now. I think he's 32 years old. I will freshen up on the facts, I promise. It is only episode 1. Cut me some slack. But he is 31, 32 years old. He's reaching the end of his career. I think to bring him in off the bench is a phenomenal idea because he still has that leadership. He still has the ability to play. He's still a very good player. But we all know how injury-prone Dani Carvajal is for us who have been watching Madrid for a long time. He gets injured every year. He's out for a month or two, sometimes even a little bit more. He's been injured in two or three finals. He has had to come off. So he is somebody that you could definitely keep in the squad, definitely bring in and play consistently. He doesn't have to not play consistently, right? I personally would really like to see Hakimi back in, or the right back from Bayer Leverkusen. I believe his name is Frimpong. He's been doing phenomenal. I want to see a more athletic fullback on both ends. I think now more than ever, athleticism has been important in football, and it needs to be addressed. Like, as much as I love Dani Carvajal, he's done so much for the club, and I want him to stay and be a squad player. I feel like next year we might need to go for Hakimi, for a Frimpong, a new right back, someone who's either established or has a lot of potential. I hope it's not another Danilo situation because we all thought he was going to be phenomenal, and then we all saw what he did in the Copa del Rey that one year. Same goes for the left side. I think defensively, Mendy's a rock. He hasn't been as much lately. I think, like most Real Madrid fans, we can all agree he doesn't really bring anything offensively, and it's very frustrating. The fact that Vinny has done what he's done on the left with Ferland Mendy behind him, no disrespect to Ferland Mendy, but I'm just being honest here. It's incredible. That in and of itself is like a Ballon d'Or achievement. To have that many goal contributions at his age with essentially no support offensively on the left side of the field, that is quite the accomplishment by Vinicius Jr. Next talking point. Joselu. Now, I was super pro signing Joselu, and I still am. I knew we weren't getting Mbappe. We were not going to get Mbappe. I knew we were not going to sign Haaland. And there wasn't really one else in the market. I thought we should have went for Kane. I really do. I think the best play would have been to sign Kane, get like maybe on a 4-year contract, have him play, and then go for Haaland in a few years when we're ready for him and when he's ready for us, because I just don't think he's going to leave England soon, maybe within 4 or 5 years. Get him at the peak of his career and use Kane up until, he's feeling good, he's won a few trophies, and he's able to retire. Who knows? Maybe he can play past 34. I don't know. But that was my ideal scenario. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that, and I blame one man only, Kylian Mbappe. But we're going to talk about that on another episode. I still am pro Joselu. My cousin said something hilarious. We were on the phone during the game. He's like, Joselu's contract needs to be ripped up if he tries another bicycle kick in this match. I lost it. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I feel like he does try to do a little bit too much. I don't think he should be starting for Madrid. I 100% believe he is a good player to come in off the bench. I understand that it wasn't just tonight's game where he was missing a lot of easy chances. He's done it in other games. But he's still someone that provides a threat that we haven't really had in a long time. We lost Ronaldo. We lost Bale. We lost Sergio Ramos. We lost Varane. We lost Pepe. We lost Casemiro. All those aerial threats off of deep crosses or crosses from wide areas or set pieces, free kicks, corners. We haven't had that, I feel like, in a long time. We have it from Rudiger and Tchouameni now, but we don't have it like how we did in 2014, 2015, which, from memory, we scored a lot of goals from crosses that season. So he's definitely nice to bring in, especially when we're down and we need to just resort to a little bit more of going long and being more direct when a team is sitting in a deep block. I think he's very useful for that. Should he be starting for Real Madrid? No. Hopefully we can have the striker situation addressed next year. Those are my talking points, and the last one I'm going to finish it off with is Rodrygo's form. I would also like to apologize to Rodrygo. I've never doubted his quality. I've always thought he was a phenomenal talent. But we can all agree that this season, at the start of the season, he was just not in form. He was losing the ball. He wasn't putting away chances. He wasn't scoring. He just looked really low on confidence. And credit to Carlo Ancelotti for the man management that he's had with Rodrygo. He put his arm around his shoulder. He's like, I trust in you. The team trusts in you. The fans trust in you. We all know what you're capable of. Just keep playing. Forget about the mistakes. Forget about not scoring. And credit to Carlo Ancelotti because Rodrygo has really turned it around in these last three or four games. I know it's only been 3 or 4 games, but it's still impressive nonetheless. 2 identical goals from last weekend to this Champions League game against Napoli at home. It's just been a phenomenal performance. It's not perfect, but it's so much improvement. I love it. He's really stepping up in the absence of Vinny Jr. Now, is there much more for me to say this episode? No. Probably could have planned a little bit better. But this is only episode 1 of a podcast that does not even have a name. I'm a huge Real Madrid fan, as you guys can tell. This is my life. I've been a Real Madrid fan my whole life. And before you guys all say I'm a glory hunter, it's because my dad was a Real Madrid fan. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you do tune in to this first episode, I promise this will have a name at some point. Thank you so much, and I really hope that you guys tune in for the next episode. If you enjoyed this and you want to be part of the family and the community for the foreseeable future, please subscribe, leave a like, for the podcast with no name just yet. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time.